everybody. Hello, and how's everyone doing today? What are y'all up to? All right, all right. Sound is working. All right, people. What's our motivation for today? How's everyone doing? So, my name is Sharice N. Johnson Moore. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to come in and see how y'all doing. You know, it's Tuesday, so you know it's storytelling day. Storytelling day about my visibility journey. What worked and what didn't. So, what I have learned, I'll go ahead and finish texting these people in and see what's going on. Hello, peoples. How is everyone doing today? What is everybody up to? So, wanted to say, hey, hope everybody's having a nice Tuesday. Hope everybody's having a nice Tuesday. Nice Tuesday. What's up? All right, I'm not going to be before you long. Hey, woman of God, how are you doing today? Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? What is up? What is up? What is up? Okay, so our topic, my name is Sharice Johnson Moore, and I am the owner of Sharice N. Johnson Moore, LLC. I am a publishing consultant, visibility coach, and I help entrepreneurs, faith-based leaders, creators, authors be seen, heard, and known, okay? And my privilege is to serve others, to help elevate others, that are in the, you're entrepreneur, no matter what that genre is as an entrepreneur. I want to help you. I want to help you as much as I can, okay? Hey, Claude, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. And my thing today is each day. Hey, Claude, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. And my thing today is each day. Start the story off as... want to start the story off as when I learned how to trust my instincts when it came to my visibility. I have been in business for 10 years. It'll be 10 years in July. And in this 10-year span, I have learned that my visibility is so important. Hello, Kimberly. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, Love 51. How are you doing today? So, I wanted to, give y'all a little background about me before I get into this topic. I've been in business for 10 years. It'll be 10 years next month. And the one thing I have learned in my visibility journey is to always ask questions before agreeing to be on someone's show. Okay, this had to do with hello Sandra, how you doing? Hey Bubba, Curious, how are you doing? Hello. Hey Sandra, how are you doing today? So if you are ever been asked to be on someone's podcast, someone's live broadcast, their lives, if you ever been asked to do lives, presentation, if you ever been asked to do a studio, like you go to the studio and do an interview, is to always ask questions. Hey Mark, hey Marta, how you doing? Hello. To always ask questions, right? Ask questions. If you do not know what to ask, go ask Google what you should ask them. Okay. Before ChatGPT came along, I depended on a lot on Google to find out information because I was green. Okay, I was jolly green, just come out of business, didn't know visibility, was essential at the time, and I had was presented with a lot of offers to come speak at other people's. Hey Kiki, how you doing? To Ola, how you doing? How you doing? To come and appear on people's programs. Hey TT, how you doing, baby? To come appear on people's programs, to do interviews, things of that nature, right? And I had never done interviews before, right? And I would turn them down. I would turn them down because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to interact in a interview setting, right? And I would turn a lot of them down, right? Because I did not have the experience of doing interviews. Okay. Hey, Satchel, how you doing? And what really got me out there was I started my business in 2016. My book was published in 2017. Between 2017 and 2022, I did not know. I didn't know anything about what I was supposed to do when it came to my book, the exposure I was supposed to give it. I did not know about interviews. I didn't know anything. Okay. I just thought I was supposed to get out, sell the book. That was it, right? But the one thing you want to do is find you a visibility coach, right? If you want to be seen more in public, learn how to present yourself in a live setting. Hey, Dan, how you doing? If you want to learn how to present yourself in a live, like this, a live, right? By yourself, solo, or with people in a group, or in an interview setting, right? Get you a coach. If you are afraid, this is one thing I know I had to get over myself. Was I gonna look right in front of the camera? Do I got on the right makeup? Is my hair done? How do I look? What am I supposed to say? When am I supposed to stop talking? Because sometimes I can ramble. That's why now I realize that this is my calling of talking. Okay, because I will ramble on. If somebody asks a question, right? Hey, D, how you doing? And so I went and got me a visibility coach, right? Now the things that what didn't work in my visit, I'll give you the what didn't work first, right? So what didn't work was me turning down interviews. Okay. That didn't work because I wasn't getting the visibility I thought I should have for my first book. Right? I'm just starting off business, just starting to be an author, just doing, hey Doc, how you doing? Hello, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate you. And me just starting out being a fresh, wet behind the ears author, right? Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. And being a new author, I have no experience about being in front of no camera. Okay? Not none. Okay? So like I said, I turned down interviews. That didn't work. That didn't work because when I turned them down, I wasn't getting no exposure. Okay? I was shy about what I was going to say, didn't know what to say, and I let that hold me in a box. I let it hold me in a box. And I would turn down opportunities because I was afraid how I looked on camera. I was afraid how my voice sounded. I was afraid of saying the wrong thing or talking too much. And I let all these things, sit in my head. And then one day, I just jumped on YouTube. I started me a YouTube channel. And I jumped on YouTube, and the first video I did was me singing His Eyes on the Sparrow. Now, if you follow my YT page, if you go way back, you'll see that I have content there of me singing. Okay? That's how I got over my nervousness of being in front of a camera. I just turned the recorder, I just turned it on and said, bump it, I'm going to go ahead and sing this song and call it a day and get over my fear of being seen, heard, all that, right? And from that point on, I also got up the courage to do other things when it came to my visibility. I had enrolled in a theology class. And once a week, one of the students, we had like 20 students in the class, in the theology class. And we had to get up and present a mini sermon in front of all our peers in this class, right? And I had gotten kind of comfortable with that. I got kind of comfortable. And then I said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and start doing my visibility about my book. And I made me a video. If you go into my YT page, you see I made a video about the book. And I just started doing things. And the one thing I did what worked was I got over my fear of worrying about what people were going to say about me. Worrying about, is my hair all right? I know if I sound kind of hoarse and stuff. I got over that. I was like, if they like me, they like me. They don't, they don't. I can't make everybody happy, right? So that's something that you come to realize in your visibility journey. It's not about you. It ends up being about, who am I helping with saying these words? Who am I opening a door to allow them to walk through that door and speak the words that are coming in their mind? Who am I freeing? Who am I freeing when I turn around? Hello, Dr. Marco, how you doing? Hello, thank you for joining me. I learned that being quiet is not going to work. That's one thing I know. That was what didn't work, was me being quiet at first, not doing videos, not doing lives, not doing shorts, reels, any of those things, right? And what worked was me putting myself out there and just being me, being vulnerable, being open, being how you say, closed mouth don't get fed. Okay, that's the term I'm going to use for that. Closed mouth do not get fed. I'm going to tell you why. Because God has a message for everybody to say. God has a message for everyone to say. And that's another thing about your visibility journey, is sometimes God will get you up in the middle of the night and want you to be talking to folks. You got to learn about that discernment too. When to listen to the Holy Spirit to do something, and you're thinking you're being spontaneous, but at the time, God needs somebody to hear what you're saying. So, in my visibility journey, I've learned how to ask questions about interviews. I've learned how to research people. Oh my God. Research people when they ask you to be on their shows or their podcast. Find out everything you can about that podcast, that person that hosted the show, whatever show it may be, and learn. When it comes to your visibility journey, this is one thing I learned. I learned that worked. Do you charge a fee? Do you charge a fee for me to be on your show? Because like I said, I was green now. I was jolly green, right? Then I ain't had no experience, and I'm going around thinking I'm going to go get on this show and this show. And people they do charge. That's something that you find out. That's an important question that you need to ask people before you agree to be a guest on their show. Do you charge a fee? Okay. Find that out. And then you have the open floor of, I cannot do it right now. I will come back to you later. Okay, that's all you need to tell them. You don't need to go all into or where my money kind of funny and all that. And you don't need to go there. Just say I am unable to be on appear on your program right now, but I will come back maybe 6 months or 12 months or next year, whatever, right? That gives you time where you can, this is how this work for me. Where I made a list of shows that were charged and I made a list of shows that were free. Okay? I made a list of shows, interviews, podcasts, whatever it was, where they charged a fee. And then I made a list of who was interviewing for free, right? Charge a fee and free. Okay? That helped me out a lot because it taught me a valuable lesson that you had to work on that stuff in levels. Okay? Work on that stuff in levels. Work on it taught me about financial responsibility. Okay? It taught me that if I wanted it to work, I had to be prepared to pay if I wanted to go to another level, right? Now, I'm going to say this. All shows that charge you I'll say this. All shows that charge you a fee, make sure they do what they say they're going to do when you give them your money, okay? Make sure that they're doing, you go back in the research, of course, do your research on the people, right? Before you go off and say, all right, I'll do this. And then they say, well, they give you this anonymous email. Sometimes you might get emails. Sometimes you might get DMs requesting you to be on the show or podcast something. And that is your appropriate time. I say, well, does this appearance have a fee to it? Okay. All right. So let me go in here. Hold on, y'all. We are going to Alright, I had to block this person. So, because I don't have time for that foolishness on my program. Or to be in, I'll say this. A person will come in and they'll say something in the comments and then they'll go rampant with other people in the live. That's in the live too. So I wanted to keep that from my audience to be experiencing that kind of bad mojo up in here. Okay, so like I said, it brings you to a level, right? It's levels to it, right? Now, I have seen where shows, TV shows, virtual broadcasting shows, things of that nature, to charge a person like $3,000 to appear on their show to talk about their book, right? And I say this. Make sure all their credentials are together, what they're talking about. Because I have also found out there are a lot of scammers out here, right? I have not been scammed by anyone that I have dealt with as far as doing shows, but the signs are there, right? When it comes to your visibility, protect it like you're protecting your neck, okay? And be very cautious. Ask the questions, I know one thing, something else helped with my visibility as well. When I decided to change my brand colors, okay, that worked. That worked. What didn't work was the red I had. I love red. Okay, red my favorite color, right? But when I got me a new a website developer, she taught me the purpose of having colors, the right brand colors. Some colors are standoffish, and some colors are welcoming, warm, palatable, pastels, things like that. She taught me about that on my visibility journey. Is to have your brand colors be inviting. That's something else that at first the red wasn't working. Okay, red wasn't working. The red. So I decided to go ahead and go with the green. The green is here. This color, green, yellow, black, gray, and white. Those are my brand colors, right? So that's something that helped me along the way. Okay, something else. Okay, what didn't work? Let's see what else didn't work. Um, Not listening to my instincts when it was time to create a new product for visibility. Okay. Or what didn't work, I'll say another one. When I tried to launch a course, maybe about 2 years ago, that didn't work. The visibility, I tried the emails. I tried everything I'm supposed to do with that. As far as visibility was concerned, presenting that to the public. But just because it didn't work doesn't mean I threw it in the trash. Okay, I put on pause, went back, revamped some things, and so now I have used that as a private one-on-one way to use my Publish Now What course. Okay, so sometimes sometimes when things don't work out, when it comes to visibility as far as your products and services are concerned, sometimes we need to go back to the drawing board and work it another way. Okay, so I worked that another way, so that worked. And it works better. My course is working better. I'm getting more clients in the one-on-one private session than if I throwed it out there and put it in public like I tried to do at first. Okay, so sometimes your visibility, you got to go back to the drawing board with it. When it comes to visibility with your products and services. Okay. Choose a strategy that made the biggest impact. Okay. I got a visibility coach. That made that I got a coach for my second book, and she was also, hey Emily, she was also a media host. She owned her own media company, Miss Wanda D. Hollis. And she is how she taught me how to present myself to my audience, doing interviews. We conducted, when she was my coach, she taught me how to conduct myself in an interview. That is essential. What questions to ask, how to answer the questions, things of that nature. She helped me out a lot. And she also helped me with the visibility of my second book. Okay, she was my book coach, of course. She's my publishing coach for my second book. This book behind me, Coming to Loving Yourself. This one, right? This one. So, she gave, and when me and her hooked up, oh my God, it's like the floodgates of heaven just open, right? And when you don't know what you're doing, don't keep your mouth closed. Find out and do some research about you getting a coach, how to do your media presentation, how to sell your book. Cause I didn't know none of the stuff I know now until I got Miss Wanda. Okay, Miss Wanda has taught me a lot. Miss Wanda D. Hollis. She's also the I Am Enough talk show here on TT, right? So if you need a visibility coach, you need a book publishing coach, check her out, right? And that is that's the biggest impact. Us a coach and to take classes. Okay. I also learned how to I took a visibility class, not visibility, but a marketing class. That also helped with my visibility journey. That worked. Taking marketing classes, right? So if you don't know anything about how to market yourself, I suggest you go see Miss Audrey Richmond for that, okay? Because Miss Audrey Richmond, she is the queen of strategy and the queen of marketing, okay? So the things that you don't know, please go find out, find someone, or go to the references I just made, Audrey Richmond for marketing and marketing classes, how to market yourself. I've learned a lot from her. Go to Wanda D. Hollis for your book publishing needs. You will learn a lot from her, okay? Always keep yourself. This is one thing. This is something that kept me from doing my visibility early in my business. Not acknowledging that I didn't know diddly squat. Just be honest with you. I did not want to acknowledge that I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, didn't know. I didn't want to acknowledge it. Oh, I got this. Oh, I do this. I'll do this, and none of the stuff I was doing was working. Right? None of the stuff I was doing was working until I got a coach, until I got the publishing coach and a marketing coach. Okay, so those are the things that worked for me. When you don't believe in your product, it affects how people come across and see it. That affects your visibility too. I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, oh God, I don't know what to say, and I would stumble over my words, at first. When I did decide to go ahead and take that leap of faith, and sometimes you can get in a life when you get someone that is rude in your life, that will throw off your concentration. That can throw off your concentration during a live. I've had that happen to me. I've had that happen to me when I first started. And then I learned you don't belong. I had to take the reins over my life. And that was, I had to get up the nerve to not let people with their miserable selves come in and disrupt what God had asked me to do. And that's how I learned. I had to learn how to block people. I had to learn how, that was another thing about this visibility journey that you will learn is everybody's not for you. Everybody's not for you, and you are not for them. Okay? And how could I say it? This is another thing that used to stress me out when people didn't come into my lives. This is the part of my visibility journey. When people didn't come into my lives, right? It would bother me. But I learned I had to keep going even though wasn't nobody showing up. Because you never know who's going to watch the replay. I learned that. Replays come in handy. Okay, hey billionaire, how you doing? I learned that replays come in handy when it comes to your visibility, right? Replay that. Upload that video again. It's called repurposing. Okay, that's another lesson I learned what worked was repurposing. So when I first started doing, I'll give y'all this example. When I first started doing live TTs, right, up here doing live TT, beginning of the new year, I was not holding on to the videos, right, and I talked to a professional, and me and the person was talking, me and River Flow. And he gave me this advice. He said, put everything that you got, videos, pictures, whatever you're doing, if it comes to your business, put it on your YouTube channel. So I used to give everybody that advice. And then I kind of slipped myself, because I'm so busy. But I was like, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and take my TTs and download them or upload them to my YT channel. So I still got a lot of videos to do. Some videos I have lost because of the time, because when you do a live on TT, they don't hold them but 30 days. Hey, Solomon, how you doing? So yeah, some of these episodes I will be repeating again if you have not been in the room. Okay. And I've decided the 6 months has passed. I've done 6 months. I've been up here since January 1st. So now I'm going to start all over again for the next 6 months and basically kind of not repeat, but yeah, kind of reinforce what I'm talking about when it comes to what I do over here. Okay. And me trying to help others along the way. But like I said, write your schedule out. Also learn that when I didn't write no schedule, I didn't have no schedule, no live, no strategy behind my lives. Oh, I was crappy. And one thing I have learned is that I had to learn how to stay consistent with my visibility. If I said I was going to show up somewhere at 6 p.m., I had to show up. Or, this is another learning lesson that I learned from my friend, from Miss Audrey Richmond. She said, you don't have to do no live every time you turn around that camera on. You don't have to do no live. You can pre-record stuff and post it for later. Okay, so I will be doing that as well. Like pre-record something that you want to talk about, then upload it at a certain time, and then it'll play. They'll be like, oh, okay, all right, cool. This is 6 o'clock. All right, post this. So I will be doing some of that. It's called, and that's also helpful with your visibility journey is pre-recorded live, pre-recorded video. That helps. That helps a lot. Hello, how you doing? So that worked as well. And my advice to all of you that are doing something and you are doing it to the best of your ability, please do not stop what you're doing. Don't give up. Don't walk away because you ain't getting no likes, no shares, no comments. Okay? Because the stuff that you put out is on the internet. This the way I think. This the way I had to set my mindset with this one too. It also calls for a mindset shift when it comes to your visibility. Thinking about, how it's going to affect. Okay? What effect it's going to have on you as a person. I still got videos from 2012 on my YT account. And they still get likes, comments, and shares. Okay? Keep putting that content out. Keep putting the stuff out that you're doing, that you want to talk about, that pertains to your business, that pertains to what you bring into the table, that pertains to how you want to deliver your message to the people. Don't take your eyes off the prize, because after we long dead and gone, I know that them videos still gonna be able to be watched if they still have YouTube around when we dead, right? But and then that is a part of my legacy that I am leaving. Think of it. You're leaving a video legacy for your children to watch, your grandchildren to watch, your great-great-grandchildren, your great-great-great-great-grandchildren. You're leaving a legacy, because you never know, 20,000, 2050, 2085, 2090, whatever that year is, you still have generations that can watch your videos. Okay, watch your content. Look, oh, I ain't know my grandma was a writer. I ain't know my grandma was an author. Didn't nobody tell me that. Didn't nobody tell me my great grandma was doing all this stuff. Yeah, leaving a legacy. You are leaving a legacy. When you do your visibility journey, it is a legacy you are leaving behind for others to watch and to encourage them. You're encouraging others. You're encouraging the next generation behind you and behind them, and the person behind them, and the person behind them. And I sat here and think, I was thinking, every time I know this may not have to do with this topic, but I wanted to say this. Every time I think about my people, my grandmother, my dad, and my mom, I think about what they had to endure for me to be here. I think about what they may have suffered, may have missed. My dad didn't have but a 6th grade, 8th grade education. My grandma, she said she didn't, she went to the 8th grade, I think. My grandma, right? She born 1915. Okay? So you think about that time between 1915 and 2011, that's 97 years, right? And you think about all the stuff that we keep watching on TV, and now we're watching all of this, the stuff about the Greenwood, Tulsa massacre, and we just learning that. We just learning that, and that stuff happened in 1930s, and how now you're finding shows like Finding Your Roots, and they talk about slave quarters and talk about slavery and talk about this stuff. Now, you was in high school, you didn't get that much black history. You got it once a month. And we talked about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, But now it's like you can go on the TV, click a program, and watch a documentary about all this stuff. Look how the visibility, think about it, all that's visibility. That's going through generations upon another generation that are learning about their history. Whether you're black, Chinese, Korean, Haitian, whatever, you learning about your history. And that stuff is there to watch. So that's how I think about whenever I want to sit down and I be like, nah, I ain't doing no live today. I don't feel like doing no live. Sometimes that overtakes me. Like today, I wanted to not do a live, but something in my spirit say, somebody need to hear what you're saying. Your visibility journey can even walk you into rooms that people don't even know you. People don't know you, don't know your name, don't know your age, don't know where you live, but they see you on the screen talking. They're like, ooh, I want to know her. And think about it. You think about this. You have a business, right? You got business, right? And every time you get in front of this camera, you are giving your business the exposure it needs. Visibility, sometimes when it comes to your visibility, like vendor events, things like that, conferences. I just stepped into that realm of being a speaker last what's this one? Yeah, last year. I did my first speaking event in 2025. Now my business been running since 2016. So I have been shy. I have been like, no, I don't think I'm good enough to be on that stage. No, I don't think I'm good enough to sing at that church. No, I'm not good enough. I've had self-doubts. I've had self-doubts about myself being seen, heard, and known. So whoever listening, okay? If you are shy, if you don't want to be seen, you can always do the faceless TT thing. You can always do it or go to the club, go to the club, and go sit in the house. And that's the voice audio. Do things that can give you exposure, but you don't want to be seen right now. It's ways of getting around to being seen. Like face. Like you see my face. Like you talk on them apps that don't see no face. You hear voice, but no face. Okay. And make it do what it do for you. Don't let nobody pressure you and you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do. You know what? God tell you what time to do stuff and when to do it. Okay. It took me it took me a time to really want to get in. And now I can get in front of somebody and sing my butt off. I can get in front of you and say, sing his eyes on the sparrow. But when it comes to speaking and really having something important to say, that's what sometimes I will hold myself hostage. And I dared myself last year because I was like, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I'm going to just go ahead and fill out this form and I'm going to go ahead and tackle this. And that's how I think. That's how you have to think. You have to go ahead and make that leap of faith even when you're scared. Make that leap of faith even when you don't be like, I don't know what they're going to say. They're going to be talking about me. Man, nobody got it. Look, look, either you're going to listen or you ain't. Okay? I had to take that old grandma tone. Look, I got to worry about me. I can't be worrying about what everybody else doing. Okay? So, love on you. Your visibility is about loving on you and bringing what God has asked you to do to bring it forth to others that need it. Okay? Your products, your services, what that thing you're doing. You having people publish their books. Young people do their copyrights. Young people do their ISBNs, they barcodes. They, getting their books in Walmart, Walmart, Target, and make it do what it do for you. And set some goals. I had to learn how to set some goals when it came to my visibility. I had to learn how to set goals. Okay? My goal this year was to go live every day on TT. Okay? To be intentional about bringing my products and services to a new group, a new audience that I have look, this audience over here is totally different than FB, IG, YT, X. It's totally different over here, right? So you gotta make it do what it do for you. Only you know how you wanna, only you know how you want to present yourself. Okay? And, this is one thing I've also learned. Be nice and presentable when you're in front of the people. Hey, how you doing? Hello. Be presentable when you're in front of the people. Put on a bra. Yeah, I said that. I did say that. Okay. Put on a bra. Don't nobody want to see all that. Put on some nice clothes. I mean, it's alright. It's cool. It's cute. It's cute every now and then when you get in, with the robe and you just got up and, you chilling and stuff. But don't make that a habit. Don't make that a habit. Oh my God. I've been taught that I had to dress up. Okay, my hair be done. If it's not braided, at least have my afro combed out. It's about the presentation. Because if I see somebody in a house robe and their hair and a bonnet on all the time and they doing a live, and I'm not buying nothing from them. Because they seem like they ain't really into what they do. See, your presentation, this is something else I learned about being visible in front of people. Your presentation, how you present yourself speaks volumes to the people, the audience that come in your room. The people that come in to support you. That presentation matters. Now, I might be like, yeah, a headscarf every now and then, but I mean, sometimes I get a little lazy, but that's every now and then. It's not no everyday thing. Okay. Hey Hattie, how you doing? So I say to everyone, you know, presentation matters. That's what Miss Wanda taught me. Presentation matters. How you look in front of your audience matters. That's a sign if you're serious or not about your business. The way you present yourself when you do a live or whatever you doing. When you're not serious and it's like a hustle to you, you treat it like it's a hustle. Oh well, I just go ahead and turn the camera on and I ain't got my hair done, I ain't brushed my teeth, I ain't got dressed yet, but I'm up here talking to somebody. Okay. That's the each their own. That's what I'm gonna say with that. But the way I was taught about, I'm old head. My grandma was adamant about, I was reminded by Miss Wanda about some things my grandma taught me. She says, now you want people to buy your stuff, but how you looking? How you present yourself? You go to church. You can't go to church no miniskirt on. You can't sit in the people live and house all tore up, stuff thrown all behind you, the room looking a hot mess, house looking junky, like really? Like ain't nobody buying nothing from no chaos. Okay? Some might get away with that, some might don't. But I have been taught about my visibility that it is so important that I present myself as a lady when I'm in front of others. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, if you out here got a business, please act like you got a business and not a hustle. Okay? Alright? Yeah. Oh, this is something else that does not work. Okay? Do not get and whine in front of people on a live. But I ain't making no money. I ain't got no this. Don't nobody want to hear all that whining. Don't nobody want to hear that whining. We not babies. We grown people. Now, if we got business, we grown people. Okay? So, hey, Nat, what's up? That whining and complaining and all that. Don't nobody want to hear that. Because it's a turn off. It's a turn off. It's a turn off to me. I'm going to say that. If I come into my live and anybody no hearts, no this, no, I ask for them, but if I get them, I get them. I don't. I've learned. Look, I got other things to worry about than that's a little mess right there. Okay, and your visibility depends on what you want to do with it. Your visibility depends on what you want to do with it. Whether you want to sit over in the cut, hey, G, how you doing? If you want to sit in the cut, or you want to be full blown in front of everybody and, have a nice rapport and you have good words to say, good English, good, good common sense, talk, conversation type, that matters. A whole bunch of cussing and all that. I don't, excuse me, but I don't talk like that no more. I used to. Every word, I had somebody do that to me. I was out in the street. They say, every word you say, you cussing. Do you have to cuss all the time? Is that all? Somebody said this to me. They said, when you cuss all the time, that shows how limited your vocabulary is. And it really does not send you in a good light cussing all the time. Every word called your mouth, cuss word. Okay? Call, have some, coof about yourself. Okay? So, yeah, that's something else I learned. I had to learn and correct. I had to correct in myself that my old me, I had to leave some of that old stuff behind in order to walk into the newness of what God had for me. And I have changed a whole lot. Oh my God. Praise the Lord. I have changed a whole lot from the person I used to be. Okay? In order to be where I'm at. And I will fight. And I will fight for my respect. Okay? So, and because I deserve it. I'll be 55 next month. 55. And somebody said, you know, you can go get you a senior citizen discount. I said, oh, Lord. No, you didn't say that, my friend, my best friend Earl. He said, now you can go get you a senior citizen discount with all your bills and stuff. I said, you had to bring that up, right? So, yeah. So, anyway, but I love you all, and your visibility matters. Make it count. Deuces.